Thanks for joining us at the SBP Podcast, the voice of mobile film. I'm Susie Botello, your host, and this is episode 18. So we're going to introduce you to Prakash Gandhi Natarajan, who is from India, but he lives in Austin, in Texas. We met Prakash as a participating filmmaker in the International Mobile Film Festival in San Diego in April 2015. And we've stayed in touch with him ever since because he's a part of the growing mobile filmmaking community. And that's what we do. We stay in touch with everybody, no matter where they are in the world. The International Mobile Film Festival in San Diego has a page on the website that lists every film and filmmaker who's ever received an official award in our film festival. Any awarded filmmaker from the film festival can go to our film festival, which is listed on the IMDb database online, and you can add, or they can add their film's award to the IMDb database. The sponsors for the International Mobile Film Festival in San Diego this year, next April 2018, are Lulu Films, Swords of Circuitry Studio, and Speed Pro Imaging. Also, Red Giant and Film Convert and Grip Gear are going to be sponsoring prizes for the winning filmmakers. We've also partnered with Production Hub, also sponsoring our film festival. So you can get all this information on the International Mobile Film Festival website. Now, we're going to have our film festival. I'm pretty excited about it, actually. We're going to have our film festival on April 28th and 29th at the Marina Village Conference Center, which is a beautiful venue in San Diego. Go to our website for the film festival. It's www.internationalmobilefilmfestival.com, and that's where you can get all the details about the film festival. Today is a little special because it's the first year anniversary of the Global Mobile Film Awards. We launched this officially on February 19th, 2017. We want to give a big shout out to our founding member film festivals, SF3 Smartphone Flick Fest in Sydney, Australia, and Heartland Films Indie Shorts Film Festival in Indianapolis, Indiana. You can get more info on the website for the Global Mobile Film Awards. And when you go there, just click on their logos to visit their websites. www.globalmobilefilmawards.com. GMFA is an award ceremony and is a platform to give mobile filmmakers around the world more exposure and respect as they receive awards in film festivals and are nominated by member film festivals for an award as the best of the best. I could share so much information here with you, but you know what? I'm excited to share our guest and his stories with you. He's going to share lots of great information with you about making some awesome travel videos with your smartphone. So let's just go there. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the SBP Podcast. I've got a special guest here. His name is Prakash Gandhi Natarajan. Did I pronounce your name right, Prakash?
That's amazing, Susie. Thanks for welcoming me into your podcast. I really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you being a part of this, actually. Just wanted to share with the people who are listening. You are, he's been a friend to us for a number of years. Prakash was in our film festival in 2015 in San Diego. and you submitted a film to our business video category, right?
That's correct, Susie. And it's about a small business. It's a bakery. And I shot that video using an iPhone 6 Plus and a Icon gimbal. And I was very honored for that film to be selected in your 2015 film festival. And I was fortunate enough to attend the film festival and walk the red carpet and meet the other filmmakers.
Yeah, it was pretty cool seeing your film on the big screen. I know you also got to meet a few of our friends from the community, and we really are all friends, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Not that I need to confirm that with you, but just kind of like a heads up for people out there who want to be a part of the community. It's really not hard to do. You just have to have an interest and start reaching out to people like Prakash and myself and others, and before you know it, you're part of a great community. uh, just because you're trying. You don't even have to finish making a film yet, but if you're interested in it, it won't be long before you can accomplish it. As a matter of fact, you have been a part of that community, um, but you've been making a lot of innovative videos as a producer using smartphones for most of the videos. And you submitted a film to this year's film festival that you're coming to. It's called Italy, and it's a travel video. And you're going to be coming here to San Diego to present your film. Be a part of the Q&A panel, do the red carpet thing again. Um, and so, what I wanted to talk to you about, well, I think we should probably, let the listeners know who you are and where you come from, because you come from India and you're living
That's correct.
in Austin, in Texas. So maybe
That's
share a
right.
little bit of that and what brought you into wanting to be a filmmaker.
Okay. Thank you, Susie, for that introduction. So I moved from India to Missouri in 2005, sorry. And I lived there for a couple of years. And then I moved to New Jersey, lived there for a couple of years. And I was not into filmmaking during those time. I was more into dancing and stuff. And then I moved to Austin, Texas in 2009. And I was still part of a salsa community and Bollywood dancing community for a while. And then need for video arose for me because I wanted to propose a girl. So I went for a videographer, and then I realized the videographers are not at all affordable, which made me realize that I wanted to start a production company where I was or where I am able to offer video services in a very affordable manner, so everyone could have video, people who wanted to propose their girlfriend, people who wanted to have a weddings, because if you see here, weddings cost a lot of money here
Yeah.
in this country especially. And then videographer is the last person they wanted to approach, because when they run a wedding, they want to make sure the bride and the groom cover all the areas of the wedding. And if they have budget left, then they talk about videographer, and videographer really charge a hefty amount. So most of the time they ignore the videographers, unfortunately. So that made me to start my own production company called Dhara Visual, and it's a mobile filmmaking company. So I do weddings, small business promo videos, engagement proposal, music videos, films in a very affordable way. So
I
that's
have
how it
to,
all started.
sorry to interrupt, but I have to defend videographers quite a little bit here because I've met some of them and learned a little bit about them. And it is one part of video production I would not want to get into in the traditional sense, because they get a lot of pressure from the clients. They expect their weddings to look like an award-winning movie. And sometimes that's really hard to do when you can't choreograph everything, right? As a videographer, you're
Yes,
covering,
that's 100% right. Yes.
yeah, you're covering a live event that can't be, you can't say, cut, can we do that over again?
Right. Right.
So
Uh, and also, Susie, when I thought about it, the way I came across about videographers was not showing them in good light.
yeah,
I understand why videographers charge a lot of money. That comes down to mobile filmmaking again. So videographer usually use a DSLR, and DSLR costs a lot of money. So
yeah,
videographer is not just about just bringing a DSLR and shoot. A videographer need a couple of shooters, and second thing, they need multiple lenses. Like Susie said, there is no time for rehearsal or anything. You are on live. You go live and shoot whatever you can. There is no time to rehearse, and you can't miss important moments. You have to shoot. You want to make sure the video looks good. So it's a lot of work. So videographers do need to charge that amount because of all the equipments they use and because of no rehearsal and a lot of time they put together.
yeah,
So the reason why I want to do in mobile filmmaking is I can cut down all the equipment costs because when you go and rent a DSLR for a weekend, you have to pay $500 to $700 just for renting a DSLR for a weekend.
right,
But the mobile, any kind of smartphone, you have iPhone, Android, LG, Samsung, it's always with you in your hand. So we can cut down that cost of renting a DSLR or buying a DSLR. So that's the main reason I'm able to provide the services in an affordable way. And also, video should be important in all the important events like weddings or when you want to make a small business. I know picture speaks louder than words, but I think video speaks much louder than picture.
yes.
So that's how I made the small business promo video in 2015, and I submitted to International Mobile Film Festival to you guys. And then you guys selected it and displayed it on the big screen for other people too, which was a honor. And that video got numerous hit after that festival. And then nowadays, whenever I travel anywhere, I am a frequent traveler. I want to travel so I can make film. I want to film so I travel. So it's the way it has been working out so far. So every time I travel, I shoot as much I can. And then when I end the trip, I finish a travel film and start submitting to film festival, show it to friends and family, and telling people how to get these kind of films done.
Yeah, one thing about traveling, I think it's what's really perfect about travel videos and cameras is that you are traveling, and it can be a real pain traveling with camera gear, right? Uh,
Right.
and but you're not told, look, you got to put your cameras in a separate bag somewhere, maybe going cargo, and you don't have to make those kinds of decisions because the phone, you just slip it in your pocket and you're ready to go pretty much to make those videos. And there are, like for you, you use some gear, but they're really, we're going to talk a little bit about that, about what, how to minimize the what you really need when you're traveling as opposed to when you're at home and you're planning to go out and shoot stuff, like movies. Because most of our guests are talking about making films like movies and things like that. But what I wanted to talk with you about is more about all these travel videos that you're making because I remember when you were um, during our film festival, right before you were sharing videos where you were in the snow. You were showing videos when you were running. You actually in our film festival, Prakash was running around like a little kid with a gimbal, shooting
That's right.
stuff. And I know that gimbal was fairly new and it was a lot of fun, but you're still having a lot of fun with equipment because you like to experiment with mobile tech, right?
That's correct. So the film which I shot for the small business, which I submitted in 2015, that was shot using iPhone 6 Plus,
Yes.
which is 4 years old right now. And then I used a gimbal. The reason you use a gimbal is when you pull out the phone and shoot, it's nice and the video looks good. But when you put it on a bigger screen, you can see that the film is shaky. The reason is all our hands are a little shaky and the mobiles have smaller lenses. So what happens, the video is not that, like, it's shaky. It's the nature of the lens. There is nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can do is buy a 3-axis gimbal which stabilizes the footage. So if you're planning to submit it to film festivals and planning to show it in theaters, I strongly suggesting having a gimbal. And the great news is when we were shooting these films like 3 or 4 years back, there were like one or two manufacturers making these gimbals.
They
But
were
now
expensive too.
they were very expensive. But now there are so many companies making a gimbal. Now you can get a really good gimbal less than $150, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, if you're shooting for family to show it, you don't need to worry about any equipment. But if you're trying to be serious and trying to make films or small business videos or weddings, I would say, like, invest a little bit on the gear. Still, your expense is much lesser than having a DSLR and investing on lenses and equipment on a DSLR. It's way less compared to a DSLR.
And
And
assistance.
that's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. And then I shot a wedding last year and I didn't have an assistant. My assistants were two tripods. So I put two tripods, mounted two phones, shooting from different angles, and I was using a gimbal, walking around, shooting. And at the end, I was able to put all the three camera footage together and then come up with a film. So shooting is very easy. You have to be a little creative about your angles and shot, which you can learn as you go, and you can listen to podcasts like Susie's podcast, and I'm pretty sure she has a podcast on Patreon page too. These are the venues you can learn all this stuff. And I definitely encourage everybody to start shooting. Start shooting home videos, cat videos, family videos, and then you can go from there.
Yeah, we actually one of the things that I did want you to talk about, because you were just talking about the gimbal. But you've got an arsenal of video equipment. I think I've seen some photos that you've taken showing. Yeah, that's right. I think it was right before the film festival that you shot a photo and you shared it, which had, I don't know, I believe there were like maybe 10 or 12 different things that you had in that photo. I imagine now you've got even more, right?
Right. So, like we talked about, now you can purchase lenses for your iPhone or your Android, and these lenses make amazing content, either pictures or videos. The one I really love is the macro lens. Oh my God, you can't believe the kind of pictures you get. Like, you can go deep into someone's eyes and take a macro picture of an eye, and even you will take a while to figure out what the picture is about. So the more accessories you add, uh, the content is going to be great. And there were several companies right now producing lenses, tripod, and gimbal. So I would definitely say if you're kind of getting into serious mobile filmmaking, then you can start researching all this stuff or ask Susie for guidance since she is a pioneer in this.
Well, actually, let me ask you. Since everybody's just listening now, right?
Okay.
What? Let's see, because I would think you've experimented with so many different things. So whenever something new comes out, you're probably one of the first people that goes out and buys it. And so, how about the youth share with us what would be the most affordable but the best, and then what is the ultimate on each thing? Like, for example, on the gimbal, lenses, and even uh, for audio, if you're going to capture audio with your phone.
Okay. So You can hear me, right, Susie?
Yes.
Okay. So, like I said, gimbal, I was using Icon in 2015, and starting 2017, I was using DJI Osmo Mobile. It's from this amazing company, DJI, who makes drones, gimbals, and all kind of equipments you can think of. So they came up with this gimbal called DJI Osmo Mobile, and you can even control starting and stopping recording through the Osmo Mobile gimbal itself because it was connected to Bluetooth to your device, and you can do time lapse, motion lapse with it. The good news is DJI released the second version of the Osmo Mobile. It's very affordable. It's less than $150, and it has more features than DJI Osmo Mobile 1. So if you're looking for a gimbal in the market, the first thing you do is DJI Osmo Mobile 2, hands down. You can look at some of the YouTube reviews. Second, you need a lens. Like I said, you need wide angle lens, you need portrait lens, and you need macro lens for shooting different kind of content based on the circumstance. So one of the pioneer for lens is Moment Lens. So they produce this such a high quality lens for wide angle and portrait and macro. I would definitely say you have to give a chance to the Moment lenses. And the third one for audio, you need Video Mic Pro from Rode. They make microphones for all kind of cameras, including DSLR and even for drones. So Rode Video Mic Pro with a mount. So you can get a smartphone mount from Amazon, any brand, it doesn't matter. All you need is a tripod holder on the mount. So once you mount your smartphone on the case or a mount, which has a tripod mount, then you can mount your Video Mic Pro on that. You can mount your lens on that. There is one more case I want to talk about is Beast Grip, which I used for 2 years. So they gave provisions for you to mount your lights, mount your microphone, mount your lens. So these are all the minimum equipments I would say you should have. Just to have a recap, it's a DJI Osmo Mobile 2 for gimbal. For lenses, you can look at the company Moment for wide angle portrait and macro. And for audio, look for the company Rode. The brand is Rode Video Mic Pro. And then the fourth one is Beast Grip Pro.
You know, I kind of rigged thanks to Photo Safari products. You remember them,
Oh,
right?
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. They when actually we met them right before the film festival that you were in, as a matter of fact, and I know you met
Hmm.
them as well at about the same time. And they sent me some stuff, and I had some stuff from long ago too from them. And I rigged a little something together with to mount the microphone and the phone, and it's like a stabilizer with with two hands, and then a light. Um, the one thing though that is limiting is the light, because if you're interviewing somebody, the light is good, because you're shooting and recording with. I have that Rode microphone too that you mentioned. And so you're standing in front of somebody and you're talking to them or something like that, or you're capturing, natural sound from where you are aiming your lenses on your camera, right, on the phone. But
Hmm.
once you move away, that light goes away with you, right? So you're only able to get what's right there with the light. It's a real challenge when it comes to lighting, because in traditional video production you set lights up in the room to light different parts of the room, right? And then you
That's
move
right.
the camera around and your lights are shining on the subjects that you want to enhance the lighting for. And so with living, even for live events and things like that, you can do things like that, and get away with that. But when you are with a phone and you've got the whole rig in your hands and you've got the light in your hands too, that's a real challenge with the light. I think it's one of the, we've got audio down, right? We got the
That's correct.
stabilizer and the audio down. I mean, I use the iRig and I just use my traditional XLR microphones and things like that. But if you, I just think there need to be, maybe we should call out more companies to work on the lights, so that we don't have to necessarily mount them on the phone so that, wouldn't it be great if they just kind of floated up in the air with the remote like a
Yeah,
drone?
that's right. So, Susie, for lights, I think we have to go with the traditional method of shooting with lights, with the three-point lighting system.
Yeah.
That's the only way we can get away with the lighting issues, especially since the smartphone has smaller sensors and they need a lot of lights.
Yeah.
So if you're shooting outdoors, you can pass away with smartphones, but if you're shooting indoors, especially in the dark conditions, yes, lighting is a major challenge. During those situations, I have done some promo videos where it's indoors, which I hate. When I'm shooting with my iPhone, I don't want to shoot indoors just because of the lighting issues. But there are some times I was forced to be shooting indoors. So what we did is we went with our three-point lighting system, the traditional shooting method for any phone, and iPhone did fared well in that situation. As much as you give as much as lights, the phone does very well with the video quality.
Yeah, and I used to
So
actually use two lights and use, depending on how high the ceiling was, I used to bounce the second light off the ceiling down to the subject,
that's right.
behind the person, not
Hmm.
right on top of them, and then use one that's sort of at an angle, in front, and that kind of works. I'm just trying to think economically. You don't always need the three lights, but you need to consider the 3 points.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And jumping back to the microphone, so I do a lot of interviews with people. So this Rode Video Mic Pro does get good audio, but there are sometimes, like you said, you have to be far away from the subject. That time there is no way you will be able to capture the audio very well. So in that situation, you just invest in a lavalier microphone. Again, it's from Rode. You just clip on their shirt and then you tie a recorder with it. Or what I do, I always have a spare iPhone, a smaller iPhone, and then I connect the lavalier mic to that iPhone and then connect to the shirt. And then I ask them to put the phone in the packet. In that way, we get amazing audio through the those lavalier mics are so tiny, still you can get amazing audios through. And there are multiple options to store these files. So there is an app called Dropbox, like Dropbox. It's called Dropbox with a V.
Mm.
So when you record these interviews with lavalier mic, what happens is these files go and sit in this app called Dropbox, which is internally tied to Dropbox. And when you connect your phone to Wi-Fi the next time, it automatically upload all the audio file from the Dropbox to your Dropbox account, which has been very effective for me to edit and stuff. So I just go connect the smaller phone to the lavalier mic, put it on the shirt, get the audio recorded. I keep the Dropbox on for the whole duration. And once they are done, I stop the Dropbox. I come home, it immediately connects to Wi-Fi and it immediately uploads to Dropbox. And I just pull it into my editing system and then I start working on it.
Have you ever used a shotgun mic? I use mine all the time when instead of the lavaliers, but
Yeah, I have used shotgun mic, but I am more of a one-man army. So
yeah.
I have to do everything. Like I have to set up a lighting, I have to set up additional camera, I have to set up microphones. So I kind of reduce using a lot of tripods, not to scare people, right? The whole reason we're shooting in mobile is people will be more comfortable, uh, free in front of iPhone or Android compared to a DSLR. And then if you're going to surround them with so many tripods, that's going to give them the same DSLR jitters. That's the whole idea.
That's right, because you're using the uh both hands with the phone. See, I use one hand with the phone and holding the phone, and then I hold the shotgun with the other one.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. I
Well,
don't
I
think I
don't.
can do that, Susie. Yeah.
I'm a little me. I I
Yeah,
could do
there you
it.
go.
But yeah, but
Okay.
if you're using B script or something like that, you have to use both hands to hold the phone.
Great.
Yeah, so that's harder. I can understand that. I mean, what are you going to do at that point? Grow another arm?
There you go.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you have the new iPhone, the iPhone X?
That's correct. I have the iPhone X, and the video quality is really amazing. And I have been in love with iPhone X, and I have been shooting a lot of videos. I shot a beauty event recently, beauty pageant event recently, and then shot couple of small business videos. And then I came back from India recently,
Yeah.
so I shot videos during my India trip. So I submitted for one of the magazine called Mobile Movie Making Magazine, my India travel video, and then waiting to see what they think about it.
Oh, I'm sure they'll love it.
Yeah. Thank
Especially
you,
if you,
Susie.
if I'm just telling you, especially if you shot it with the iPhone. Well, because I know what you can do. I know, if I didn't know you, I wouldn't say that, but I know that you know
Thank you,
what you're
appreciate it.
doing. um,
Ye-
but
And also in my equipment bag, I recently added for the Christmas iPad Pro and Apple Pencil. And I have to
ooh,
say that it totally changed the way I have been editing my mobile videos. So my workflow earlier was I shoot in iPhone, whatever iPhone I have, like 6 plus, 7 plus,
yeah.
and then I bring that footage to my MacBook Pro via AirDrop, which takes a lot of time. Or sometimes what happens if your Apple ID is same across your iPhone and your MacBook, it automatically goes into the Photos folder. It gets synchronized, but
Oh,
still it
I
takes
don't
a
like that.
while. Yeah, but it
This
still
is
takes a while.
this is what I do. So there's a utility. I'll just share this with our listeners because you're not the first person that I've heard say something like that about getting the videos onto your MacBook. And it's
Hmm.
really simple. Photos, iPhotos, or photos actually, tends to compress them a little bit, and that's why it takes so long to do that with the iCloud and everything. It's a pain. But what I do is, if you go to your MacBook Pro and you go to the utilities folder, you'll see it's called image capture,
Hmm.
and you can set that when you open that application, you can set that so you can plug your phone into the iMac,
Hmm.
the computer,
Hmm.
and it'll automatically as soon as you plug it in through for downloading stuff or whatever, it will open up image capture, and image
Oh, wow.
capture works really fast compared to photos, and it's direct, and it doesn't compress it doesn't compress photos or videos, and it'll you can select everything, and it will download them straight into your computer. And then what I do, because I use iMovie,
Hmm.
so what I do after that is I will select the clips, right? And I'll
Hmm.
open them with QuickTime, and I'll trim only what I need, and name each clip. And then I'll bring my selected clips into iMovie, so that I'm not bringing everything into iMovie and then, cutting them there. So it's
Wow,
like
that sounds like an amazing tip. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely I need to try
it's
that.
a lot easier as far as processing, time is concerned with the MacBook. That's just something cool but, the what you're talking about with the iPad, that sounds
Hmm.
really really innovative too,
Yeah,
so
definitely. iPad Pro has come along a long way, and I'm using a 12.9 inch, so it's a bigger screen.
yeah,
So now I edit 95% of my videos in iPad Pro, And
Cool.
since we are using mobile a lot, so iPad Pro is another mobile which is bigger in size.
Yeah.
So the way you edit is the way you are using your mobile phone, because MacBook is still a PC.
Right.
So the way you edit in MacBook is kind of like a traditional editing environment, but editing in iPad Pro is changed the game forever. And then I use Apple Pencil. And for iPad Pro, they came up with an app called LumaFusion, who has done an amazing job of bringing all the features you can see in Final Cut Pro X to LumaFusion. So you can do green screen to everything you can imagine from FX and everything. So I have been using LumaFusion, and that's what I used for my India travel film also. And my editing workflow has been sped up, and my productivity has been raised. So now I come home from work,
Yeah.
and then I take my iPad and I'm working on editing videos. And I have been like releasing more videos since I bought the iPad Pro compared to what I was editing in MacBook, where I was very slow.
That's awesome. That's you hear that, everybody? Get the iPad Pro.
There you go.
That's pretty cool. Have you ever used the iPad as your monitor while you're shooting with the
Actually,
phone?
I did the other way. So what happened? I went to a recital, uh, and I needed three cameras. Unfortunately, I had my iPhone X and then iPhone 7 Plus, and I didn't have the third camera. And then suddenly I was like, I always carry my iPad Pro with me
Yeah.
because sometime on the field I have to edit. So I was like, okay, let me use the iPad Pro. And the best part about iPad Pro is I got a Logitech Slim keyboard, which has a stand, built-in stand with it and a keyboard with it. So I just removed the keyboard and then I just used the stand and then I just hung the iPad Pro on a bar by the audience seat. And the entire recital was captured as one video in my iPad Pro. And that's what I submitted to the client and they loved it.
Oh,
And that
that's
the iPad
cool.
Pro was a saver because in a recital, again, it's a live event. There is no time for rehearsal or anything. And then I was moving around with my gimbal, and that video on my iPhone was not at all good because of the constant light changing, and you have to like keep exposing focus and but to keep changing it.
Yeah.
But the iPad Pro was stable, standing in one spot, recording the whole event, and then it was constantly focusing and readjusting it, and the video looked fantastic. So yes, I did use iPad Pro as a camera, and people make fun of you saying like, why do you carry iPad Pro as a camera? It's so big. But trust me, it's a lifesaver for me on that recital.
Well, yeah, as long as you can put it somewhere and leave it there, it's stationary.
Exactly.
What
Yep.
gets scary is when you're walking around and trying to do moving shots and things like that
Please
with it.
don't ever carry iPad and walk around and take videos. Please
Yeah,
don't do that.
it's such a risk. Well,
Yeah.
and for somebody like me, you wouldn't see me. I'm so tiny compared to, the
Yeah, very.
I guess if you're 6 feet tall or something like that, it doesn't look so weird. But for me, it'd be like, here I am behind this thing. Um,
Hmm.
but no, that's pretty cool. And so you how much well, let me ask you this. What just give us a rundown of some of the things because you're so experienced with different things, and I do kind of want you to show off a little bit here of all the different cameras that you've used. Drones and GoPros. Just run us a little list of all the cameras that you've experienced.
Okay. So I have never used a DSLR honestly, and the main reason is because of what I went through in 2013 hiring a videographer because they had their own investment they have to recover. So that's the reason I ventured into filmmaking in affordable way. So I went to the mobile route.
Yeah.
So when I got the iPhone, that time I think I was using a iPhone 5s. That's the first camera I ever used to shoot videos. And my first video was a music video where I was dancing because I went to dance school to learn dance. So I collected a bunch of friends and we went to a smaller city nearby Austin. And then we went and shot in the middle of the road using iPhone 5s. That time we don't have a tripod, we didn't have a gimbal. and the music video was shaky the whole time, just like the Cloverfield film. But we were so happy because none of us had no experience. We were still able to finish a music video and submit it for a contest, which we were so proud of. So my journey started with iPhone 5s, and on demand basis, I look for what I need. So the footage was shaky. So I started investing in a tripod, and then I realized the footage is really good. But the problem with the tripod is you are stuck in one place. You can't move around with your tripod. I have done carrying the tripod and walking around. Trust me, don't ever do
Oh
that.
gosh.
First, the footage is not going to look good. Second, you will look like a not smart
Like a
person in
dork.
front of the people. Yeah, there you go. So, so I started looking at stabilizing the footage through gimbals. That's how I ended up started buying gimbals. And then what happened, since Austin has a great weather, we spend a lot of time in the water. And then iPhone on water or any smartphone on water, don't even take any smartphone next to the water. Then I was trying to figure out, okay, how do I do it? So maybe let me carry a plastic bag and wrap the phone in the plastic bag. And that didn't do justice. So I end up with a GoPro Hero 3 Plus. So I was shooting all the water related environment shooting through my GoPro Hero 3 Plus, and then I would match the footage with my iPhone 5s, and the results were pretty great. And then, okay, we have ground footage. I wanted some aerial footage, and that time DJ Phantom 2 was really famous. So I went for DJ Phantom 2. I really loved it, and I was able to capture amazing aerial footages. So when you combine aerial footages from DJ Phantom 2 and footages from water, from GoPro, and footages from land in iPhone, you really get the whole picture. You can shoot a film, you can shoot a music video, you can shoot small business video, wedding videos, anything you can think of, and depends on how artistic you are, how creative you are. People won't even bother whether you shot with a DSLR or with a mobile. As long as the content looks good, people are able to watch your film, they will do it. So, and then I started upgrading my iPhone every year. I went to iPhone 6 Plus. I always get the maximum size because if you're shooting videos, you need as much storage
Yes.
as possible. An iPhone have an internal storage, that means you can't upgrade, so you have to go with the maximum storage. So I believe iPhone 6 Plus came with 128 gigabytes is the maximum storage. So I went for it because sometimes I shoot short films for 2 days, and if you're away from home, we don't have a way to move the footage from your iPhone to whatever editing system you are using.
Right.
And then we come across this thumb drives, which has both USB drive and USB port on the left, and then you will have the lightning port on the right. So what happens, you can shoot footage all day, and then you can connect this USB on your phone, and then you transfer the footage from your phone to this small thumb drive, and then you can delete all the footage from the iPhone, so the iPhone is free space. You can use it to shoot the next day. And then I upgraded to 7 Plus and then to iPhone 10 right now. And then I upgraded my DJI Phantom 2 to DJI Spark now. It's a small handheld drone and it's doing an amazing job. You can control it with your iPhone X itself, and then it go up to 500 to 600 feet in the sky, and it has a gimbal, two-axis gimbal built into it. So my India travel film was made with iPhone 10 or iPhone X and DJI Spark, and it looks amazing, and it was edited in iPad Pro and Apple Pencil.
Wow. So when you come to our film festival this year, are you going to bring your drone or anything like that?
Yes, I'm gonna bring my iPhone X, I'm gonna bring my iPad Pro, Apple Pencil, and DJI Spark.
Awesome. Well, because last year one of the photographers, we like to do a little dinner or something like that on Friday, and we were over by the where the boats were at the marina.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just a few feet basically away from the venue, and uh, everybody was playing with the drone. He had the drone. Even I got to fly the drone a little bit. It's pretty amazing, that I mean, just looking back a few years, when I'm saying that, just getting drone footage was such a big deal. Like when I worked
Right.
let me see, 2008. I remember the company I was working with. They wanted aerial footage of a location, and so we had to hire a helicopter with the
Wow,
mounted cameras and everything. And that was so costly, you know? And then
that's right.
a couple years after that, this guy, that I met through, online, he was in Egypt, and I met him on LinkedIn actually. And he made a video. I think it's on our video channel still. Um, I'm not gonna say his name because I probably, if I find it, I'll mention it in the article or something. I don't know. But just look in our YouTube and Vimeo. He shot. You were talking about the water,
Mm-hmm.
right? You were talking about all these different things. Well, he put his phone on a drone and then flew it, and he got some footage that way. He also put his phone, he mounted it on the rail of a railroad track
Wow.
and shot the train going over it. Now, I would have been scared doing that because, as the trains are getting closer, the rails are vibrating.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to secure your phone, otherwise they loosen up and you lost your phone. But he managed to do that, and he put it in um, an oven. He did all kinds of things to show what you could do, with your phone. I think he even mounted it on a bicycle, on a wheel or something. I can't remember exactly, but I'll have to watch that video again. It's a lot of fun what you can do when you're experimenting with the phone. It's gonna be lots of fun this year having you with all the toys that you like to play with. You know,
Yes, thank you.
yeah.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it also.
So, can you share just a little bit here? Because I know we're gonna share for our Patreon page in detail how to make some travel videos in more detail, right? But
Mm-hmm.
maybe some basics for this podcast on what to consider when like spring break is gonna come up soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some of
Mm-hmm.
our listeners are probably planning a trip to go to the spring break, and they'll want to do some travel videos. So instead of bringing their DSLRs or whatever, right? What would you recommend that the basics to get to make some travel videos with using their smartphones?
Sure. Like you said, yes, spring break is coming. Again, you don't want to carry a lot of equipments around. You want to travel light. So what I would say is like you can find in Amazon these mini tripods. So these mini tripod costs less than $15. So what it does is you don't need to hold your phone in your hand. You can just mount this phone on this mini tripod and you can leave it on the ground and then it will shoot whatever is right in front of it. I like these mini tripods a lot. The reason is there is something called time lapse where it's a video showing the time passing by in a quick seconds. So these are great for people walking around or sun setting or in a beach. You just turn on time lapse on your phone. You don't even need to do anything. You have a camera button. If you keep scrolling, you will find portrait, square. It depends on the phone. It should be the same option. There is something called time lapse. So you just switch on the time lapse, start recording, and let it go for 5 minutes or 10 minutes and stop recording. And you will see this amazing footage of times passing by. And if there are people walking, if there is sun setting down, if there are waves, it's going to look beautiful. Or clouds, it's going to look amazing. Second thing, you don't want to carry anything. I just want to carry my phone. I don't want to carry even a tripod. It's still fine. Best thing to get non-shaky footage just with your hands and phone is keep both your hands right next to your hip or your tummy and then hold the phone. So you kind of use your body to balance the phone because when your hands are so freely hanging and then you're holding the phone, there is going to be this minor shake which is going to get exaggerated when you put it on the big screen. So sometimes I don't have the time to mount my gimbal or tripod. I just pull the phone from my pocket, and then if I have a chance, then I try to sit down in one spot. That gives me more stability. Or if I can't sit down, I have to stand up. Then I put my hands close to my tummy or close to my hip. Tuck both your hands in towards your body and then hold the phone. That makes a huge difference. Second thing, take as many wide landscape shots as possible. Shoot more. More footages are better than very few footages and you can't even put a film together. Second, take a lot of close-up. So if you're going to shoot only wide landscapes, it's going to get bored after a while. So you have to like switch back and forth between wide landscape and portrait mode, which is like put the camera right on face of people, on animals or things. Go close up, go tight shots. So if you can do all these tips, you can come up with some amazing travel videos because wherever you travel for spring break, the place is going to be beautiful. So you just capture it on your video.
This is good. Now, one thing I'm listening to you, and one thing that just kind of I would also tell our listeners to take is an external, like a battery, an extra battery that you can plug into your phone, you know, because the battery, when you're shooting video, it drains the battery on the camera a lot faster. Um,
Yeah, yes, that's right. So, Susie, I forgot to mention that the only reason is I use an iPhone X,
yeah,
and Apple has improved a lot with each version of their phones. For example, when I was shooting with my previous year phone, which is iPhone 7 Plus, almost if I'm shooting the whole day, like 8 hours, almost around 6 hours, it starts dying. So I carry this external battery packs.
yeah,
Fortunately, iPhone X is doing so good. I have went out, I have shot, I came home, still I have 50% battery left.
that's
But
awesome.
but make sure you charge your phone to 100% before you leave. One thing. Second thing, when you are shooting, always shoot in landscape mode, which people are doing that nowadays already. So you don't need to shoot horizontally because your TV or your theater is not standing horizontally. It's vertically laid out. So shoot in landscape mode or vertical mode. Second thing, put your
Oh,
phone
wait.
on airplane mode.
Yeah,
Yes.
and airplane is good because that way you won't it won't be interrupted with notifications and things and looking for mail in the background. But what I was going to say is make sure you unlock your phone, the portrait mode. Um,
That's right.
yeah, because if you don't unlock your phone and you shoot landscape, it's going to come out sideways.
Yep. That's correct.
Which is cool if you want to do shots of, remember the old Batman movies, right?
There
Where
you go.
they would show them, they're climbing up, the building, but they're really crawling on the floor. So what they would do is they would turn the cameras to the side, so that it looks like, oh, okay, they're climbing up a building. You can
Yes.
actually pull that off on your phone if you put it on lock, which is, what is that called again? I forgot what
It's
it's.
a
I,
it's a orientation lock.
yeah,
It's called
exactly.
orientation lock, which you can do it from the control center. You can swipe up or down, depends on the phone you have, and then you have a lock button. Once you lock it, your phone will never go the other way. So it's much better. And then there are many apps. We definitely need to talk about apps. There are many apps you can use to shoot. For example, if you want to just pull your phone and shoot, use the stock camera app which comes with your phone. And if you really want to invest in some apps, spend little money and get some better footage. So the standard for iPhone and I think Android also they have it now is Filmic Pro. Everybody shoots in Filmic Pro. It's like $19 and it produces content in higher bitrate than what iPhone does. So the quality of the video is really great, and you can do more controls to it because with the stock camera, which comes with the Apple iPhone, you can only do focus and exposure. You can't do anything more than that. But with the Filmic Pro, you can even control the aperture, you can control ISO, you can control the white balance, and there are many more
Yeah,
features
some of these
you can
apps
use it.
do take a learning curve. I mean, you have to really study up on these things to use them, because they have a lot of controls as well, and you have to kind of know what you're doing. Um, and that happens. Have you heard of Procram?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Yeah, because I had that app for a few years and I used it for photos, and then I realized that it also has a video option on there as well. Um, and they also have a lot of features on there. It's just, for people for doing travel videos though, what are some of the most basic apps that won't be, you know, not for making movies. For making movies, cinematic app, that will give you that kind of quality are good to invest in. But for making some regular travel videos, just so it's better than using the native app on the phone, what would you recommend for that?
Okay, so let me talk about both photos and videos on travel because you are going to end up shooting pictures and
That's true.
videos. I will talk about both the shooting part and the editing part. So normally I use the stock camera app because it's very easy to just pull it out and shoot. But if you really want to go deeper and you want more controls, like I said, Filmic Pro offer you DSLR controls on your phone. And the second app I use, which is really underrated app, not a lot of people know, is Hydra. It's called HYDRA, Hydra. So this app is the best app if you're shooting indoor or low light because I believe the technology they use is they simply enhance the brightness so the footage doesn't look as dark as the stock camera. So this is for video and also taking some amazing night shots. If you're taking night shots on your regular stock camera and if you're taking night shots on Hydra, you will see a major difference because they have low light option, they have zoom option, they have a high resolution option. These are for the pictures, and they have an option for video HDR, which gives an amazing result during the nighttime. And other than that, there are multiple apps you can use for the pictures. There is an app called Halide, HALIDE. Again, you can control your ISO, aperture, and you have ProCam, which Susie was talking about. And there is an app called Focus. It's like a focus, but not with a U. It's with a O. It's FOCOS, Focus.
Mm.
So the best thing about this app is the iPhone, the last year iPhone, then this year iPhone came up with a feature called Portrait because the bigger phones, the 7 Plus and the iPhone X have two lenses. So what it does is when you're using a portrait picture, when you're taking it, it uses the wide lens and also the portrait lens, and the software uses the wide lens to blur it out. So what happens is you will see the person popping out of the picture with the background being blurry. That's a very common DSLR technology. They call it as bokeh effect. It's been used for years. Now Apple came up with it for the pictures. So this focus, what it does is when you're shooting portrait on your phone, normally what happens is iPhone recognizes the person in front of you and then blurs the background. But the focus gives the capability to blur the person in the front and focus on the person in the back or focus the background on the back, which is amazing. So
Wow.
I've been experimenting with this FOCOS Focus app for the last couple of days and I'm impressed with it. Also, you can take a portrait picture with your stock camera and you open the picture in focus, and focus can change the depth effect on dynamically after the picture was shot.
Hmm.
So I would definitely give focus option to use it. And then there is this app called Selfissimo. It's like one word, it's like a crazy name, Self. ISSIMO, Selfissimo. It's from Google. So what they're doing is, how people take selfies. Here, you just put the phone on the tripod instead of a timer. You make movements, and whenever there is movement, this app takes a picture of you. So there are so many creative apps coming. So just to recap, I would say for video, Filmic Pro and Hydra, and for pictures, use Halide, Focus, Selfissimo. These are all for shooting. So for editing, the number one app I use is Snapseed. Again, it's from Google. You can do a lot of stuff with Snapseed. It's like Photoshop for iPhone or iPad. And the second app everybody uses is Pixelmator, and that's another amazing app where you can like add more images on the same image, and you can like play with it. And the third app I use is VSCO, and I like those filters because those are cinematic professional filters. So those are the three apps I use for editing pictures. For editing videos, I use iMovie, which comes default with your phone. And then I use this app called Cameo. It's from Vimeo. You know Vimeo, it's just like YouTube. It's the YouTube is more for like people say like YouTube is more like cat videos, and Vimeo is more like professional videos. So Vimeo people use to showcase their professional work. So this Vimeo came up with an app called Cameo, Cameo, and you can edit the video in Cameo and automatically get uploaded to Vimeo, and then it stores a copy on your phone to in a higher resolution. So I used that, and then I already talked about Luma Fusion. So to recap on the editing part, so for pictures, I would say Snapseed, Pixelmator, and VSCO. And for videos, I would say iMovie, Cameo, and LumaFusion.
I have a suggestion too. You might like this
Yes,
one. It's called Aviary.
yes,
Aviary. I've been,
I love that one too.
yeah, they used to be called something else years ago. I've stuck through all their changes and they only just get better. They've never disappointed me. Um, and it's free. So it's
And
not like I'm trying to get on their good side or anything, but when there's someone out there that's doing something great, you kind of want to give them a heads up, and say thank you. So yeah, that's a great app to use too. And you're right about the photos. And something that I do want our listeners to know is that uh, it is a good idea to incorporate photos in your travel videos. You can
that's correct.
also, some people forget that you can bring photos into a video editing app, but you can do that and use them because, what Prakash was talking about is how people get bored with just wide shots or just close-ups or, and things like that. So that's another way to diversify the content in your videos. Um, Prakash, would you like to play a game? I didn't even tell you about this. I'm sort of just throwing this on you. There's a little game that I like to play during each podcast. Um, it's basically I give you 20 seconds. It's called a shout out game.
Okay.
And what I do is I give you 20 seconds to give a shout out to what I would like. I'm trying to think of what you would be an expert at or something that you would like to give a shout out to as a theme. But you know what?
I love movies, but I still not getting the game. Maybe I have not played this. So what does it mean, shout out to?
So shout out is like when you give a shout out to somebody, like during the Academy Awards, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how they give a speech and they start saying, I'd like to thank so and so and so and so, and then the time goes on and they just can't stop and then they get cut off and finally it's like enough already, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so what I'm doing is giving you 20 seconds to do that, to
Mm-hmm.
give a shout out to people or movies or something like that. And I don't know, what theme would you pick to give a shout out to? Maybe
I would say movies. Is that one of the
Okay.
category?
No, everybody has whatever they would like to give a shout out to. It's just that normally I plan these things a little earlier and I have an idea of what to give a shout out to. And for you, I was thinking maybe apps, gear, but we covered all that already, so that would be redundant. So yeah, how about movies? Movies that inspired you. Would that be good?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, then we'll do this. And you're going to get 20 seconds to do this. So, are you ready?
Yes.
Set and go.
Since I am into iPhone filmmaking, I have been following these iPhone filmmakers for a while. I might not get their name right, but I will start talking about their movies and the name. So the recent movie I'm so impressed is Steven Soderbergh, who made Ocean 11 movie. He is making an iPhone movie called Unsane.
Okay.
Watch it. Watch it. So do I need
Yeah,
to cut off?
that was it. You had your 20 seconds. So one movie. Let's talk about that. Go ahead and talk about Steven Soderbergh.
Yeah, this guy made blockbuster movies. Just research him. I'm pretty sure a lot of viewers already know this guy. So he shot a secret iPhone movie. The movie stills were not out. The name was not out. Suddenly he dropped a bomb saying like, "Hey, I made a movie. It's a secret movie. It's called Unsane, Unsane. It's releasing in theater in the next couple of months. Completely shot in iPhone." I saw the trailer, the movie title, and the story, and the trailer is in IMDb. Check it out. It looks amazing. And this guy made the last movie was Logan Lucky. I don't think it was a wide theatrical release. It was released a video on demand. It's by the Daniel Craig, the guy who plays Bond. He's the leading actor in that movie, Logan Lucky. So
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to see this movie Unsane because people were talking about Tangerine a lot last year because of the Sundance Film Festival and how it was shot on iPhone. But
Right.
I think Unsane is going to redefine the iPhone filmmaking. And it's kind of scary because these big people come into iPhone filmmaking. And first of all, I'm very happy that we are all pioneers, like we started way early than anyone else. And the scary part is all these people coming into the iPhone filmmaking game. That means we have to learn a lot and keep moving up, else these people would kill us. The third thing is since more people are coming in, it's really good. There are going to be more iPhone films going to come out. There are going to be more gear manufacturer, more app manufacturer, which is good for the community.
I have to put my 2 cents in about this. So one of the reasons why, and I'm not the only one, the pioneer, film festivals entered and decided to create these film festivals as a platform for people to make movies with their phones, right? Was to level the playing field.
Hmm.
So, what happens is that by having the Hollywood industry making movies with phones, on the website, on the my website, the International Mobile Film Festival.com,
Hmm.
if you go there, um, you will see it's on the home page and it's also on the MFF page, and it's been there. It's been there for years. I think it was 2013 when I added that quote on there, like a quote by us, because it was the thinking at the time, and it still is. And it says, I'm not going to read it, but it does say something about imagine that you shot a movie with your phone and you are on the red carpet at our film festival, and standing next to you, who also made a movie on his phone, is not Steven Soderbergh, but Steven Spielberg. It's a very close on the name.
Hmm.
It's almost the same name, but the whole point of it is, and I say that at the end, all things being equal. And that's
Right.
the whole point. It's like, we've been divided because of, you have to know people, you have to have a big budget, you have to know the camera gear, all this
Mm-hmm.
expensive camera gear. You have to be an engineer practically. You have to have a big crew. You have to, there's so much to make a movie that it was out of the hands. It wasn't something just anybody could do. But with the phones, right? Anybody can do it. And now to have real leveled really leveled the playing field. It's a real equal arena when you have the Hollywood people able to show their films and be a part of this community, because now we can really all, sort of be more equal. And it's not about money anymore, really. It's still about the story. uh, I
That's right.
know, I know for a fact there are, professional independent filmmakers out there who have made films with big red cameras and all that. Not big red the gum, but the cameras, the red cams, and their films. I've seen better stories made with, a phone, and I hate to say that publicly, but it's true. So it's not just about the camera. It's really about that, the attention a filmmaker wants to give to his story. So yeah, I just had to say that because I know there is a lot of fear out there, like, hey, this is our game, but the whole purpose of this game was so that everybody can play,
Yes,
and it.
yes, I agree. I was kind of jokingly saying that, but
Oh no,
you
I
are
know.
right. You are right, Susie. You know what? I forget about Spielberg. I would be amazed even standing next to Steven Soderbergh, saying like, "Hey, I have made films too, and I'm happy that you are getting into our game, and hey, maybe we can work together someday." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
maybe we should give him a shout out to come to the film festival and be among, the filmmakers that are there, and connect with this community. I mean, there I'll bet you anything he would admit himself there are things he could learn from you guys.
there you go, Steven Soderbergh. If you're listening to this podcast, please make sure to show up to International Mobile Film Festival at the end of April in San Diego, and you can even screen your movie Unseen here if you're interested.
Yeah, there's a good idea. I'll stand by that. How's that?
Okay, there you go. And going back to your point where you were talking about making films on iPhone and DSLR,
Yeah.
there are so many filmmakers out there who can't create a movie out of the script, who have been waiting forever. Now,
Yeah.
these smartphones have given them a chance to bring their concept from paper to screen.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter what camera you are using anymore. Yes, I was able to bring my content and make a movie and show it to people. That's amazing. So
Yeah.
thanks to smartphones
Right.
and film festivals like you guys, who encourage us to do more and more films, who treat us like celebrity by extending red carpet and inviting us, and we appreciate it.
Well, that's a good note to and first of all, thank you for hearing the call of the dare by platforms like mine, daring you to make a film and you actually going out and doing it and excelling in it. And look at you, you made a business out of it and you get to make a living off this stuff. This is an amazing and inspiring story by Prakash, because yes, you can do it too. Um, Thank you for everybody for listening. Go to our Patreon page so you can listen to the next part of this podcast, which is the bonus part, and listen to Prakash show everybody or tell everybody how to make travel videos step by step. Thank you, Prakash, and goodbye, everybody.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.